Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee and Conversation with Kristen. Today, I wanted to talk about no credit scores or low credit scores, okay? So there's a really famous gentleman out there who speaks a lot on cash is king. And you should pay everything off. And, there's a snowball effect of paying off and debt and reserves and all that good stuff. And while I really believe and agree with a lot of what he says, one of the things I disagree with is the fact that you can buy a home with no credit score. Now, can you buy a home with no credit score? You can. Is it optimal? It's not, okay? And here's why. So when you don't have a credit score, even if you have a down payment, a lender isn't sure how to justify your payment history, right? So just because you have no credit score doesn't mean that we can just assume you're going to pay everything on time. We really can't say one way or another, because what if you never pay us on time, right? You don't show any history of payment when you don't have a credit score, which is one of the reasons why so much in this country right now, or has been for the longest time I can remember, is that in order to buy something and to qualify for really great interest rates or, down payment, options and different loan programs and things like that, is because you've proven that you can make your payments on time. You're a low risk to that lender, right? Because a lender is lending you money. As a lender, doesn't matter if it's a credit card lender, if it's a mortgage lender like myself, if it's a credit union doing a boat loan for you or a personal loan, student loan, it doesn't matter. What matters is that anybody lending you money needs a reassurance that you have a good payment history, okay? Which is why a credit report or a credit score for a credit report is so important to these things. Now, if you're going to borrow money, you obviously want to borrow it at the lowest rate possible, right? And especially if you're a cash is king person, because you realize that paying no interest is better than paying any at all. So I totally understand that theory. However, again, a lender's not sure what that history looks like, okay? So one of the things we always recommend doing is building your credit. There's even options for you. Let's say you're somebody who's like, I'm not getting a credit card. I despise them. I hate them. Okay, great. You don't need a credit card per se like that. You can't do what's called a secure card. So what you do is, unfortunately, debit cards really don't go towards your credit, even though you could technically use them as a credit card instead of a debit card. But what your bank can do is hook you up with a secure credit card, meaning, let's say you only want a limit of $1,000. You're trying to build your credit. One of the things you could do is put $1,000 on that credit card, but you only borrow $300 of it. And now, mind you, that $1,000 is your $1,000. So you essentially take it from your checking or savings, you put it in this card. So if you spend $300, you're spending your own $300, right? And then you pay some of that back. And then that goes back to the card balance of your $1,000. So you're borrowing and spending your own money. However, because it's a secure credit card, it's now reporting to your credit bureau, okay? So that's a really great way that people don't even realize that they can build credit with their own money. So you can stay cash is king while building your credit. It is possible. You don't have to borrow somebody else's stuff while also paying an obscene amount of interest in order to build credit. One of the other things I say too is, let's say you do want a credit card and you understand and you feel like you can absolutely manage it, and that's great, because building credit, you have to be able to manage your own finances. You have to take care of them, right? So one of the things is let's say you get a credit card and it's their $1,000. It's a Capital One, Discover, Citi, whatever bank, whatever lender credit card you want to use, go ahead, okay? And you're going to borrow their $1,000 that they give you as a limit, right? One of those magic numbers of all the research I've done and learned is like 30% of that balance, right? So if you borrow, let's say $300 of that $1,000 and you charge it, you're going to want to pay that off. But you might not want to pay it off in full because you want to keep that score revolving. So maybe pay it down to only $20 or $30. You're proving to that credit agency that you're a responsible borrower. You're borrowing it, paying it back, borrowing it, paying it back. But you're only paying a really little bit of interest based on that really low amount you're leaving on the card, whether it's $20, $100, it's up to you. The key is you want to borrow it, pay it back, borrow it, pay it back, okay? So that's how you keep revolving and keep growing that credit bureau and that credit score. You're now building yourself some credit. So there are very responsible ways in doing so. This doesn't mean I get a credit card and I get to blow all the money and never pay it back. Don't do that. That's never what we would recommend. However, there are responsible ways of handling it, whether it's a secured credit card or not. So you just want to borrow it. Okay, some of the reasons why not having a credit score isn't great is, let's say you even have a 10 or 20% down payment, right? Lenders are still going to look at you at the lowest credit score possible. The reason for that is again, they can't judge based off of a 0 credit score if you're great at paying back or you're not. So they have to err on the side of caution. They're always going to err on the side of caution, okay? So even if you've got $1 million in the bank, but you have a 0 credit score, unless you're paying cash for that house, it doesn't matter, right? So we're going to look at you at a lower credit score, which means your rate's probably going to be a little bit higher. Maybe that's okay with you because you plan on prepaying your loan every month anyway, and that's okay too. It is up to you to do that, as there's no prepayment penalties on anything we do anyway. I won't say for every lender out there, but as guaranteed rate is concerned, there's not a loan product that I offer that has a prepayment penalty. So you can prepay those. So if the interest rate isn't totally of concern to you, then yes, we can get it done at no credit score. If interest rate is a concern to you, then let's help you get some ideas on how you can build your credit. Now, everybody's different, okay? There's not one set of rules that says you can build it and it'll come in 2 months, 3 months. I've seen it happen as quickly as 2 or 3 months. I've also seen it take somebody as long as 6 or 7 months. So if buying a home to you and earning a good credit score is something you're thinking about, let's get started helping you now, okay? The other thing I hear is, okay, Kristen, I have a 620 credit score. I was told I can't get a loan. And that's not true. Every lender has a different overlay of credit scores, okay? Ours happen to go down to about 600 depending on the loan program. Some lenders will go as low as 580. Others won't go any lower than a 620, 640. So it's just important that you make sure that you're shopping around in a way that's healthy to you in order to make sure that you're optimizing what you can do. Mortgages are one of the biggest things when payments are made on time to help also build your credit, okay? So it's not always a negative thing, but at the end of the day, if you're taking out a mortgage, you're gonna end up building your credit anyway. So why not build it up for a little while first? Well, then you can buy a home and save on interest, because interest, when you're talking 6, 7 figures, whether it be $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $1 million, that interest rate's going to matter and save money over the long run, okay? So while I'm telling you right now, building credit is important and there's options and ways that we can help you do that. I'm not a credit expert. I'm not saying I work for a credit expert company, but what I'm saying is I have learned some tips and tricks. I also do work with a credit company that could help you if maybe you've had some negative credit in the past and you're really adamant about wanting to clean it up and gain a score that you deserve to have now. Don't wait. Give me a call. Let's get you set up with a credit repair company that can help you earn that so we can get you into a home, okay? So no, you don't have to have A+ credit. No, you don't have to have 20% down or $1 million in the bank. You do have to have enough money to cover your down payment. And right now, it's pretty important that you can cover your closing costs and escrow setup as well. Most sellers aren't giving credits for this right now. Some are. So it really depends, and that's a good conversation to have with your real estate agent. But as a lender, I'm going to tell you, again, err on the side of caution. Assume you're going to have to cover all of those costs. If you want to know what that looks like, give us a call. We can walk you through it. We're happy to help. Maybe home ownership isn't tomorrow, but next year it is absolutely possible. 6 months from now, absolutely possible. And we want to be the ones to help you. So if you have any questions, drop your comments below. Give us a call. My contact information is right below as well. My name is Kristen. I'm with Guaranteed Rate. I am happy to help get you into home ownership. It's a really important step in our process of the American dream, right? And while renting is good for some, it's not always good for everybody. So again, let's have the conversation. Give me a call, drop your comments below. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you found it informational. And if you feel like anyone else could get information from it, please share it along. Thank you so much for listening and have a great day. Bye-bye.